Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Today's podcast is sponsored by SLI Systems, providers of intelligent site search and navigation solutions. Learn more at sli-systems.com and listen to their interviews at ecommercepodcast.com. Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a weekly podcast focusing on e-commerce topics featuring interviews with prominent people in the e-commerce space. This week, practical e-commerce publisher Kerry Murdock speaks with James Carr-Jones with Vertus Corporation, discussing their new product called Bling It.
Well, Mr. James Carr-Jones with Vertus Corporation, thank you for joining us today. We're talking about your new software product that's out called Bling It. I'm wondering if you could tell us what Bling It does.
Hi there. Yes, thanks for having me. Bling It is a product which is designed to improve your web sales, and the way it does that is it improves your product shots. Is they're getting a 20% increase in like-for-like sales. They are starting to move dead stock that they couldn't do before, and they are getting increased click-throughs. Now, how does it do that? And it does that by removing the background, improving the look of the image, adding a new background that is fundamentally sort of in line with the values of the company that's selling it, and it makes the product look very good. It adds a drop shadow. You can add your logo. And last but not least, it can compress off the background to improve the foreground resolution or the product resolution. So you get a larger image which is smaller and is in line with your corporate values. And as a result of that, you can get some great sales and make your products look professional and make your business look professional. And the most important thing to say is it's not an image editor. It's actually designed for this specific task.
You mentioned something there, James, that you can increase resolution, photo resolution with Bling It. Tell us how that works.
It tends to be that if you're downloading, for instance, from your camera, you've got a 10 megapixel camera, but the image that's going to appear on the web is going to be anywhere from 50 through to 100 kilobytes. Mm-hmm. And if you are compressing the whole image, you perform a uniform compression across the whole image. With Bling It, what you can do is that you can keep the maximum amount of resolution on the object. Say, out of 50 kilobytes, you can keep 40 kilobytes on the object, even though it's only half the image, and compress off the background into 10 kilobytes. So it looks as though you've got a better quality image for the same image size.
Very interesting.
And that means you can either have a larger image at the same quality or a smaller image at a much higher quality.
Interesting. Does your software work with multiple formats, say JPEG, TIFF? What format does a merchant need to get the image in to begin with for your software to take it over from there?
Well, it works with most formats, most commercial formats, JPEG, PNG, and some TIFFs. Some TIFFs are quite problematic. It outputs as a JPEG.
Well, how much is the software, by the way?
Well, the software is $49.99. They can purchase it online. It's going into quite a few retail stores soon. It's available in for both Mac and PC.
Okay.
So we pretty much cover the bases. Then they can upload it from the website or other people's websites, and they have the use of a 15-day trial.
And they can purchase it directly from your website?
Yes, they can purchase directly from our website and from some of our partner websites.
Tell us the URL of your website, James.
So that's www.blinget.com. blingit, blingit.us.
So the process is for a merchant.
I mean, there's really, what if you can imagine it, is that they upload it onto their computer, and they can get it running off their program menu from the start button, and suddenly the program will appear, and then it'll ask you to go and get an image. And so you go and get one of your product images that you want to improve, and that suddenly appears into the product. At that point, product does a very neat thing. And what it does is that it finds all the natural lines in the image. So all the lines outlining your product. And then you already have a brush open, which is called the delete background brush. And you just basically click on the background, and you will find that the mask, which defines where the background is, goes straight up to the edge of the object. Now, we have a very convenient little viewer in the top right-hand corner called the Paint Away viewer, and that shows you in real time your background disappearing to white. So you kind of feel very confident about the way it works, and it's very intuitive. So within the matter of minutes, you have got rid of your background. And from that point on, you're building the image again. And the first thing you want to do is go and put a new background on. And some people use the images that we have got there for background images, which are very useful and fun. But quite often people want to use a corporate background or a standard background that's kind of in tune with their corporate values. And then from then on, it's very easy, and it's done in a very simple way. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going through these tabs. So 1 is you remove background, 2 is set the canvas, number 3 is add effects, number 4 is finish. So we try and make it as simple as possible, and to be honest, people are getting it in a few minutes. I mean, I gave it to a school of 9-year-old kids, and they had it, and they had never used an image editing product before, and what they were doing was a history class, and they'd all dressed up as Roman soldiers, and they managed to knock out the background, go to Google Images, find a cohort of Roman legionnaires, and then put them in the background. It looked as though the class, were leading a cohort of Roman legionnaires. And they did that in literally 5 minutes.
Wow.
From start. So if they can do it, anybody can do it.
Interesting.
So it's not an image editor in the traditional sense of an image editor where you've got to go and trace around everything and be very careful about the pixels. We take care of all the pixels. You see the object like a background, and you click on it, and it disappears. That's how it works.
I see. I saw a reference to auto-sizing. You can auto-size the image.
Yes. Yes. What it is, it's very difficult going from, let's say, one auction website to another. But let's say you wanted to go to eBay. You don't necessarily know, and you'd have to go through a lot of the forums to find out what the optimal size is for eBay, just in terms of the pixels, the height, and the length, but also the data weight. And this optimally prepares that so that when it goes through eBay's compression cruncher, the image displays optimally. And so actually for eBay, you'll find that it's something like a 600 by 800 image in pixel terms and 2 megabytes. It's quite large, and then they compress it down to eBay optimal sizing. But that's the best way to do it.
I see. Well, lighting. Many of our readers and listeners are concerned about lighting for their photos. We've written about optimal lighting, how to position a product. Can your software help with lighting, adjusting lighting, if lighting is inferior lighting with a product?
Well, no. I mean, one of the things what we do have is we have an image sharpener, which makes things come into more focus. But I think what we've got to be very careful of was that we didn't want to create something that suddenly made the product look different to what it was. So with our product, you can't get rid of scratches or things like that. I mean, you use an image editor to do that if you want to do that, because otherwise the accusation is that we're not actually portraying the image accuratly or the object accurately. So with lighting, it's something that you can do, but it's a kind of more of a recoloring thing, I think, with an image editor. But what we do have on the website, and I think would be very useful, is we've got actually a professional photographer to actually talk about lighting. There's a nice video on the front of the website, that's blingit.us, which tells you how to light and how to shoot for eBay.
Well, for a price of $49, it seems like a bargain to me, and we want to thank you for speaking with us today, James.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this week's e-commerce conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next week for another new episode.